When you first go in to compare your footprint, you obviously won't have entered any data. You'll see a dashboard that will look like this. There are 4 sections: organisations, facilities, data, and reports. What we have to do is enter an organisation. Now, Compare Your Footprint calculates the greenhouse gas emissions for organisations including companies, universities, charities, in fact, any kind of organisation. So what we're going to do first is create an organisation. So I'm going to click on this. It says you've not added an organisation, so I'm going to add an organisation. I'm going to add the name of my test agency, which is going to be an advertising agency. So I'm going to go down to Direct Industry, Advertising and Market Research. I'm going to choose a reporting currency. In this case, I'm going to choose dollars. That's American dollars. Now, when I create a report, it's going to be for a year. Now, I can choose when is my year end. Some people will choose their financial year end, and some people will choose a calendar year. I'm going to choose a calendar year, so I'm going to choose the 31st of the 12th as my reporting year end. Country of registration, I'm going to choose United Kingdom. From the drop-down list, you can choose any country in the world. Parent organisation, if applicable. If you have already entered a parent organisation using this form, you can actually connect a child organisation to the parent. This is something we'll come on to more in later videos. For now, I'm going to just add a simple, straightforward organisation. So here we go, I have my test agency. Now this agency, in order for me to add some data, has to have at least one facility associated with it. So I'm going to click on facilities on the sidebar here. It tells me I've not added a facility. So I'm going to click Add a Facility. Now I'm going to call my facility Head Office. The type of facility. Now there are lots of different types of facilities you can add. These are general office, storage, and then this list here. There could be factories, they could be accommodation, you might be a hotel, you might be a hospital, you might be a university, a public building, a restaurant. I'm going to call it a general office. Now, there has to be one primary facility in order for us to enter some data. So what I'm going to do is click that this is, yes, indeed, the primary facility. This tells Compare Your Footprint which of the facilities that you enter is your head office or your main one. Now, I need to put a postcode in or a zip code. I don't actually have a real office, so I'm going to just enter a random postcode here. This is a piece of test data. Now, the area in meters squared is used in order to work out how well and how efficiently this office is running. So I'm going to choose 10,000 meters squared. And I now associate this facility with the only organisation that I've entered so far, which is my test agency. I've now got everything I need in order to be able to click Add Facility. Okay, so I've got a facility and I've got an organisation. If I click here on Dashboard, I now have the option to manage the organisations and manage the facilities. In order to calculate our carbon emissions for test agency, we need to enter some usage data. So I'm going to click on Enter Usage Data in the dashboard. Here's our test agency, Add Usage Data. Now, there are 2 ways that you can enter usage data. One is manually through this form. The other is to import usage data using an Excel spreadsheet. First of all, I'm going to show you the manual method. Here we are, our head office. My end of year is the 31st of December. Compare Your Footprint has defaulted to the year 2016. I'm going to go with that. Now, usage type. This is the kind of activity data that you may have done that could have caused some carbon emissions. The first is air travel. That's business air travel. There are some biofuels and biogases. Catering. Construction, that's materials like concrete, bricks. Delivery vehicles. Electricity, freight, gas, gaseous fuels, heat and steam, liquid fuels. Managed assets, use of materials such as metal, clothes, books, paper, plastic. Rail travel, road travel, refrigerant for air conditioning, and waste, different types of waste, and the use of water. I'm actually going to choose air travel. Subtype, we have non-UK international, UK domestic, that's within the UK, and then long haul and short haul, where either the origin or the destination is in the UK. I'm going to choose UK long haul air. For seat type, this is the cabin class. I'm going to say that I flew premium economy, and I'm going to say I flew 100,000 kilometres. Passenger kilometres means one passenger travelling 1 kilometre. So there we go, we have some usage data. I'm now going to delete this piece of data I've just entered. And it's as simple as that. If you make a mistake, you can remove the piece of data you don't need. I'm now going to show you how to import data using an Excel template. So here we have head office, air travel. I'm going to download the Excel template for air travel. This is the Excel template. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible whilst including the crucial information that we need to calculate greenhouse gas emissions. So we have the date of travel, the origin airport code, which is the IATA International 3-letter code, origin country, again the destination airport code, the destination country. We've pre-filled this with some examples. Now this is the routing. Again, these are the 3-letter IATA international codes. Not all travel companies provide this. If they do provide it, that's great, but it's not necessary. This can be left blank. Cabin class. Again, this is economy, premium economy, business class or first, and the all-important distance. Okay, now what I'm going to do is actually fill this from some example data from an actual travel company. This is an example of what you might receive from your travel company. Now, there are going to be some fields here that you don't need, for example, booking references and all this kind of thing. But the important data is going to be the departure date. So I'm going to copy these over into my template. There we go. I'm now going to look for the origin and destination airports and country. So here we are, origin. Yes, this looks like the IATA code. Destination, and actually they have indeed provided the routing. So I'm going to copy these 5 fields from my travel company's sheet into my template. Cabin class. Let's have a look. We've got cabin class, kilometres. Here we go, class. Okay. Have a quick look to check that they're formatted correctly. Yes. I'm going to copy over the cabin class. And finally, we need the distance in kilometres. And there we go. That's everything we need. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to Compare Your Footprint, and I'm going to upload the file. Okay, open, start import. Okay, so Compare Your Footprint has read in all those different entries, which were individual flights, and wrapped them up to be defined according to certain criteria, which are the haulage and the seat class. So for each haulage type and seat class, we have passenger kilometres. So that's how you import air travel data using a spreadsheet. I'm now going to show you how to do the same thing with paper. Stationery companies tend to provide a spreadsheet of your orders when requested to do so. I've downloaded the paper template here. The paper template is as flexible as can be. Again, we have the date, which is the date of the order. The product. Now, the product tends to come as a text description, and within that, there are usually some very crucial pieces of information that Compare Your Footprint will extract. So this is an example of the kind of text description you might see. Navigator Universal A4, 80 grams per square metre, white, pack 5. If your travel company provides a sales unit, this will be pasted in here. If it's not available, some of them provide it, some of them don't, then Compare Your Footprint will work out what the unit is by looking at the text description. And finally, the quantity of these sales units that you've ordered on this date. So I'm going to do the same thing, which is fill this template with some actual stationery data that a stationery company has provided. So this is real data. And as you can see, there are an awful lot of different fields here, branch, town, etc., etc. But what we want are the dates. So you've got order date, last ordered, and invoice date. I'm going to go with order date. Take a few of these and paste them in to my paper template here. I'm now going to find the text descriptions of what's been ordered. I'm now going to demonstrate how to import some rail travel data. I choose rail travel from the drop-down list and I download a rail travel Excel template. So there are only 3 columns to fill: travel date, type of train travel, and distance in kilometres. Now, train type is national, international, underground, and also not so often used, light rail and tram, which is kind of trains that go within cities rather than from one city to another. What I'm going to do is actually load up some real travel data. This is the same downloaded spreadsheet from which we extracted some air data. Now, I've got travel type here. I've got national and international selected. I don't want my air data at the moment. And I've got departure date, which will serve travel date in the template. So copy that across. I'm going to copy travel type and put that as train type. I now need my distance in kilometres. So let's see if we have that. Okay, miles. Oh, here we go, kilometres. I'm going to paste that in here. I'm going to save my template, rail travel template 3. Upload, rail travel template 3. Start my import. And let's see what we have. Here we are, national and international. So it's added up all those journeys and come out with the total passenger kilometre in each category. I'm now going to demonstrate how to upload some electricity data. Import usage data. I'm going to choose electricity and I'm going to download my template. Very straightforward template, this one. The first column identifies which kind of electricity, and you can choose from this drop-down list where you want it to be sourced from. Let's say Portugal. The start date, the end date, and the kilowatt hours. Put 500,000. Save my template. Go back to Compare Your Footprint. Upload my template. Start my import. Let's have a look. There we go. I've got some data for Portugal. I'm going to delete both of these items. Instead, I'm going to put in some actual data. Import usage data. Download my template. And this time, make sure I've clicked on electricity first. There we go, the correct template. I'm going to actually open up some readings from SSE that have been downloaded from the SSE business portal for various meters for an actual green element client. Now we have previous read date and read date. So I'm going to use those as my start and end for each period. Now here's day usage, night usage, other usage, and here we have total usage in kilowatt hours. So I'm going to select the 2 dates and total kilowatt hours, paste them into my template. I'm going to copy UK grid all the way down. This was a UK based company. And now let's see what happens when we choose to upload our new template. Okay, there we are. It summed up all those readings, and we've got 150,000 odd kilowatt hours for the year.
Once you have added in all your usage data, you're now ready to create a report and view your carbon emission results. To do this, you just hit create a new report, add in the name of your report, which organisation it sits under, and then select the reporting year you would like to report on, and then hit create report. We're now going to show you how to create a report or set of results to view your carbon emissions. We offer two types of results or reports, your carbon footprint results and then consumption results. The latter is set up to adhere to streamlined energy and carbon reporting policy, which was set up as a UK regulation to ensure large companies report on the carbon emissions from their business activities, in particular from scopes 1 and 2. Carbon emissions are broken down into 3 scopes as per the GHG protocol in order to better understand the source of your emissions. Scope 1 includes all direct emissions from your organisation activities, which are under your control, such as fuel combustion on site, such as gas boilers, fleet vehicles and air conditioning. Scope 2 includes all indirect emissions from electricity purchased and used by your organisation. Scope 3 includes everything else, all other indirect emissions from your activities occurring from sources that you do not own or control. These are usually the greatest share of the carbon footprint, covering emissions associated with business travel, procurement, such as stationery, waste and water. The inclusion of Scope 3 sets CompareYourFootprint apart from other calculators, as it will cover the majority of your emissions. You'll see here you can view your results as location-based and market-based emissions. For electricity supplies, the GHG protocol requires this dual reporting. Location-based emissions use the average fuel mix of the grid based on your location. Market-based is more specific to your actual supply and takes into account the tariff that your organisation purchases. Therefore, the percentage of coal, gas, oil, nuclear, biomass and renewables in the mix purchased is taken into account when calculating the greenhouse gases. You can download the reports as a PDF or Excel. Most clients prefer to download the Excel version in order to tailor to suit their own reporting brand and style. Now let's work through the information on the carbon footprint report. So you'll see here total reported greenhouse gas emissions and intensity ratios. These emissions are broken down into the different scopes and show total organisation tonnes of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions, and then broken down into intensity ratios we mentioned earlier as turnover, revenue, metres squared and employees. You'll also see a simple overview chart to compare your year-on-year emissions. Greenhouse gas emissions by source shows emissions data in relation to the relevant usage factors you have entered, all broken down and split according to the different scopes. Emissions disaggregated by main greenhouse gases shows you the breakdown via all the key greenhouse gases commonly measured and monitored: carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide. You'll also see here benchmarking. If we have data on your industry, you will see your organisation ranked globally on scopes 1 and 2 carbon emissions against others in your industry. Now we'll have a look at the consumption report, which, as mentioned earlier, these results adhere to streamlined energy and carbon reporting. To access more information, please visit CompareYourFootprint.com/SECR, SECR. These results also show your absolute consumption for each usage entered and then broken down by your facilities. It will also show you waste by type and electricity by renewables. Thank you for watching and listening. If you have any questions or need help to get through to the next stage with Compare Your Footprint, please do get in touch. Email us at hello@CompareYourFootprint.com or call +440 203 545 0992.